morning, friends. Today is Monday, April 6, 2020, day number 12 of online teaching and learning during the coronavirus school shutdown. Well, with Palm Sunday, we've begun Holy Week, and it's going to be a Holy Week unlike any we've ever experienced before, because we're not going to be able to gather with our school family and with our parish families this week. We just can't. For me, it's going to be very strange not to be having our annual Holy Week service in McGarry Gym tomorrow morning. And I'm guessing it's going to be even more strange not to be able to be celebrating Holy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday with my parish community. But that's the situation we're in. I know many of us are taking advantage of the live stream masses that are available all over the internet, and many of them are available from our local parishes as well as from the Diocese of Cleveland. Here's a photo that I received from our Riley Hodges family, showing the family gathered for the Palm Sunday liturgy, and they happen to be watching the Mass as it's being streamed from the National Shrine in Washington, D.C. So I do hope you're finding ways to take advantage of what's available to stay connected to the practice of our faith, even though we can't be together. It occurred to me when I was praying about this yesterday that maybe this Holy Week, which will be so unlike any that we've ever experienced before, maybe it's actually going to be more like the first Holy Week that Jesus and his disciples experienced. And when you think about it, that first Holy Week began with a roaring crowd, lots of activity as Jesus was welcomed into Jerusalem. This is kind of like the hectic and roaring life that we all were experiencing before the pandemic shut everything down. And then throughout Holy Week, in that first Holy Week, the crowds dissipated, and the gatherings that Jesus and his disciples had grew smaller and more intimate. Sometimes the Lord himself being totally alone. Those were small gatherings. The Lord's Supper. The few disciples gathered at the foot of the cross. The very few that were there discovering the empty tomb. And then that evening of the first Easter Sunday, when they were all locked up in fear. Their own kind of quarantine, I guess. Just like you and I are today. So they go from roaring crowds to small gatherings, just as we have today. In the gospel stories of that Holy Week, I personally am very moved by the times Jesus was alone. When he was in prayer in the Garden of Gethsemane, while he was imprisoned on that night of Holy Thursday, while he was praying to the Father from the cross. In school, some of us use extended time for tests and quizzes. But now I think we probably all have extended alone time. We probably all are spending more time alone than we ever have in a long time, perhaps ever. I find that different, even unsettling at times, the amount of time I'm alone when I'm so used to being around so many people all the time. Maybe during this Holy Week, we can use some of that solitude to connect with the Lord. His story tells us that alone doesn't mean forsaken. Alone doesn't mean hopeless. In that first Holy Week, the Father was always with Jesus. And in this Holy Week, Jesus is always with us. I look at it this way. If he was able to break through the tomb and through the locked doors of the room where the scared disciples were huddled, he'll break through the barriers that this pandemic has put between us. Back then and today, he knows and delivers the message that each one of us needs to hear. Peace be with you. So if you're scared, if you're anxious, if you're disappointed, if you're frustrated, He understands that because he felt all of those things in that first Holy Week. But he tells you and me, I am here. I'm bringing love and hope that no virus can take away. My message, Jesus says, is this: peace be with you today and always. We have no birthdays in the school today, but yesterday we did welcome a new cub into our Lion Pride. Take a look at this little angel. She is Reese Leah Mooney, the daughter of our Mr. Andrew Mooney and his wife Jen. She was born yesterday at 11:04 a.m., weighing 7 pounds 11 ounces and measuring 20.5 inches long. She joins big Sister Reagan, the star of our breakfast show you saw last week. So God bless Reese and the whole Mooney family. There's a saying that goes like this: a baby is God's opinion that the world should go on. And what better message for all of us at this time? The birth of little Reese, God's opinion that the world should go on. God bless you. Well, it's Monday, and as promised, it's time to check in on the growth of my little plant. You remember last week, Hallie Smith suggested that we have a naming contest for this little guy, and the most popular name submitted was to name the plant after our own Mr. Geyser. I think his freshman students had something to do with that. So they suggested Mr. Geyser Jr. I'm thinking Baby G for a nickname. So let's take a look at Baby G from 2 weeks ago when I showed you just these two little leaves. Then last week, look at the growth, and look at this week. So just in a 2-week span, look at the transformation. And I'm showing it to you because I want it to be a symbol that you too are transforming. You too are growing through this shutdown. You're learning, you're discovering new parts of your personality. You're connecting in new ways with your family. It's all part of God's plan. Hard for us to figure it all out right now. But we got to trust. We have to trust that in God's goodness and care for us, it's all going to unfold. St. Paul says, all things work together for good for those who love God. I'm sure that includes the experiences that we're having right now. According to our school calendar, we have only 2 days of school this week. Easter vacation begins on Wednesday and continues through April 19th. We begin online learning again on Monday, April 20th. We're not able to go to school on campus right now, but remember, there are a bunch of people who live on campus full time. And I'm thinking especially of our Sisters of Notre Dame who live in the provincial center at the top of the hill. Sister Joanne has gathered a group of the sisters together to share a greeting with the NDCL community because, like us, they miss all the activity on campus, and they, in a special way, are praying for all of us. So let's turn it over to Sister Joanne. Good morning, Sister.
Thank you, Mr. Waler. Good morning, NDCL. Sister Joanne here. I wanted to make a really short message to you to let you know that the sisters, as you say, up the hill, are praying for you and thinking about you and missing you a lot. The campus here with over 1,300 students every day is really quiet, and we miss that. So I wanted you to know in a special way and gather a few of my friends to say that to you. There are about 150 of us or so who live up here, and we've zoned ourselves off in quarantined areas so we don't catch the virus, spread the virus, or do any harm. So the sisters in the Notre Dame Village are one part, the assisted living is one part, the healthcare is one part, and the few of us in the other wings also are one part. So here's our messages to you. Hope you enjoy it and know you're much loved and much missed.
Hi, NDCL. We're praying for you
and your families. Life is good. Keep it up.
Hope you find new hope every day.
The
Thinking of you, wishing you a happy Easter.
God bless.
Remember to increase the peace at home.
Enjoy the spring and the new life that's coming.
Keep a song in your heart.
Praying for you and all of your family.
Happy we had this chance to talk with you.
Good luck, NDCL. Stay motivated even through spring fever.
Thank you, sisters. We miss you too. I hope all of you notice how the sisters were modeling for us appropriate social distancing in that video clip. That's true to form for our Sisters of Notre Dame, always educating us. So we thank you for that, showing us the way. Now, you remember last week, Mr. McBrayer threw down the jump rope challenge. I don't know how many of you are participating in that yet, but I did get a video clip from one young lion who's a participant, and this is little baby Hadley, who is the daughter of our Miss Hours and her husband. The whole family's home because of the pandemic, and so mom and dad used that time to train up baby Hadley in the jump rope challenge. So we'll end these announcements today with a video clip of Hadley doing her thing. I hope you have a great day, NDCL. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.